guys, this is Charl from GuitarSkills.com, and in today's video I'd like to give you a couple of tips when it comes to playing blues riffs. So in the beginning of this video I played the classic Freddie King Going Down riff, and that's, it uses a couple of essential techniques when it comes to playing riffs or licks on the guitar. Now, if you want to be a good blues guitarist or a rock guitarist, classic rock, hard rock, the variety of blues styles out there, one thing that you're really going to have to develop is your phrasing ability. Now, phrasing is really exactly the same in the way that we speak. So you can even hear that, with my accent, I'm South African, so my accent might sound foreign to some people just because of the way that I, pronounce words, but also in the rhythmic way that I, use to actually structure what I'm saying. That's got a certain, pace to it and a certain way of phrasing what I'm saying. Now, a lot of you guys out there would have gotten into trouble with your wives or your girlfriends when they say to you something, well, it's not really what you said, but it's how you said it, right? So that really is the power of phrasing. It's not necessarily what we play, but how we play it. Because if you think about it, Eric Clapton, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimmy Page, B.B. King, all these guys essentially use pretty much the same notes because most of their playing is based around the minor pentatonic scale, major pentatonic scale, as well as the blues scale, right? So for the most part, that's it, and maybe a little bit of the Mixolydian mode. But for the most part, those are the same notes that they're using, but their playing sounds so different, and a big contributing factor to that is the phrasing. So what exactly is phrasing? Well, quite simply put, it's making use of articulation techniques, like I've just mentioned, in the way that we can phrase the notes slightly differently. That's why things like hammer-ons are very powerful in playing. And that's how that going down started. And then also a bit of vibrato there, which is the rapid variation in pitch. So I'm not just playing, there's no drama with that note, there's no anticipation, there's no attitude if I just play the note straight like this. But if I add some vibrato there, immediately that sounds really cool. And if I also add in a hammer-on, that sounds really cool too. Now, where does this really come from? Well, it's kind of emulating the human voice, specifically as it relates to singers, because if you look at some of the early blues guitarists, they really focused to emulate a blues singer's voice. So what they would do, instead of just playing a note, or singing a note rather, they'd scoop into that note for that same reason, to add some attitude, add some character and flavor to a note. Alright, so there you can see the power of hammer-ons. Now, hammer-ons are pretty cool because you get two types of hammer-ons. You get ones that go fast and ones that kind of go slow. Both of those have a different flavor. Now, the second articulation technique that I used for that going down riff is a slide. It would be kind of boring if I just play no attitude to that, but if I use the hammer-ons, the vibrato, and the slides, and the slide bend, it sounds like this. Alright, so there you go, that's a slide. So I'm sliding from 7 into 5. And then I'm bending this third fret down ever so slightly before I play the open string. And the cool thing about blues is it really influenced rock music a lot, because if you think of like Black Sabbath, which is a big influence for rock bands, with a song like Paranoid. can see, not very different to what I've just done for this going down version. Alright, so there you go. There's a couple of things you can take away from that riff. And the final thing I'll mention is when it comes to kind of the tone, we can actually change the tone of the guitar without, you know, changing pedals or amps or anything like that, just in how we play it. So if I play towards the back of my string here, it'll be a very bright sound. If I play towards the front here, it sounds different. But also if I palm mute the string slightly, it's gonna sound different to this. And that's something else I use for that riff when I was kind of pedaling that E note. Alright, so there you go. You can use palm muting also just to kind of change the way the notes sound. So instead of playing something like if I'm palm muted the strings like that, I get that muffled sound. Right, so now you can see using a variety of things like palm muting, hammer-ons, slides, and that little bit of a bend, and even pull-offs. Now my playing starts sounding a little bit more lyrical and vocal, and that's most likely the kind of things that you really enjoy from some of your favorite guitar players, because a guy like Angus Young has a very distinct vibrato as opposed to Stevie Ray Vaughan and B.B. King, and all these guys have those nuances in their playing the same notes, but they're playing them differently, and that is the point of this video. And the way that you learn to play the notes differently is by using these articulation techniques. So let me show you another kind of a riff which uses kind of like a greasy double stops, which is a specific way of bending two notes at the same time. So what's happening there is I'm playing. When I bend both of these notes together, they're not really in tune, right? And that again adds to the drama, it adds to the attitude, and that's why it sounds a bit greasy. Alright, and so go and give that a shot. Literally just play two notes at the same time. Experiment with your pickup. And that is how you can start just getting a wider palette available. So if you were a painter and you had to paint something and you only had one color, it's going to be pretty boring, right? If you only have two colors, you can start mixing things together. And once you start getting a wide variety of colors together, now you can, you know, mix things into like different hues of color, and you can, you know, you have more choices available when it comes to expressing what you want to do. And it's the same like that on the guitar. So what I've just shown you there is just another way in which we can use string bending with double stop. And you can even use stuff like vibrato on a chord, together with a slide. Right, so that's pretty cool, right? In the way that you can use vibrato and slides and hammer-ons and pull-offs. Now, talking about hammer-ons and pull-offs, when you combine those together, they're often referred to as slurs. and also known as a legato, because legato, the word means smooth and flowing, smooth and connected, where staccato is like short and detached. So if I have to play like a legato phrase on the guitar, those hammer-ons and pull-offs after each other, that's a very legato phrase, where if I pick both notes the whole time, so the one is very smooth, the other one is very short and detached. So that's, again, contrast. Now, I can play kind of a riff like this one. That's literally just using hammer-ons and pull-offs together with some strategically picked notes. That's 5-7 on the G, 5 on the B, 7-5 on the G, 7 on the D, 5-7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the D, open A. When I add this all together, let's do that with palm muting. So as you can see, I started that with palm muting, and then I kind of went over into not having the palm muting on my strings anymore, and therefore the sound changed quite drastically. So if you want to do one thing to play blues with more conviction, with more attitude, and with more authority, then you need to check out these phrasing techniques like I've shown you now: hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, string bending, vibrato, palm muting, just different ways in which you can phrase the notes on the guitar. Don't bother by learning 101 scales and 1001 chord voicings if you want to play the blues, because really the blues has 3 chords and 5 notes, 6 if you count the blues scale, and that's not a lot of notes. So the thing that you need to differentiate yourself from that is in the way that you are going to play those notes. So I hope you found this video helpful in how to play blues riffs with conviction and with attitude, and for it to sound really cool. And then you can also go ahead and check out our YouTube channel, because a lot of these things that I've played, I've got more detailed breakdowns of that. But this serves to be as an overview of what you can do to develop that classic blues sound through the use of proper phrasing techniques. If you'd like to get more lessons like this, including this lesson's tabs and free jam tracks, then you should register for a free GuitarSkills.com membership today. Simply click the link in the description box. I'll then send you the tabs of this lesson, and you'll get instant access to our private members area. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Comment below and let me know what else you'd like me to cover, so I can give you what you need. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because I'm going to keep these videos coming.